Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know who I am, hi, hello, my name is Brianna, and today I thought it would be super fun to do a reading vlog of new book releases because in the month of January there were so many new books that came out, so many that are on my radar, and then the beginning of February has quite a few as well. I think as you guys are watching this, it's like mid-February, maybe beginning February still. So I bought a few of the new books that came out in January just a few weeks ago, like very highly anticipated for me. And then I have some arcs of ones coming out in February as well from like publishers. So I definitely want to try and read a few of those as well. I just thought it would be so fun once again to read these new releases because obviously there's not going to be as many reviews and just people's thoughts on these books yet since they are fairly new, but some of them I have already heard amazing things about. The first one I want to pick up for today's video is A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. This one came out like 2 weeks ago as I'm filming this, I think. And I love The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. Like, that is one of my favorite books ever. And I also have Spells for Forgetting on my TBR, but I thought this one was just like more fitting, obviously because it just came out, and I don't know why, but it just gives me like dreary, wintry vibes. So Adrienne Young usually writes fantasy that feels kind of more like magical realism. So I'm very excited to get to this one. It says, in this captivating atmospheric novel, a woman investigates her twin brother's mysterious death while confronting the ghosts of her own past. And even from that like tiny little synopsis right there, I just want to eat it up. It's also fairly short. I think it's just under, it's like 270, 280 pages. So not too long, so hopefully it doesn't take us too long to get through. Let's just get to reading. If you haven't seen any of my reading vlogs before, they're all spoiler free. I have like B-roll and then I pop in with updates here and there on the book, how it's going, what it's about, if I would recommend it. So it's just like cozy vibes, but you also get book recs out of it, so it's the best of both worlds. Let's start A Sea of Unspoken Things. Reading update time for A Sea of Unspoken Things. I am actually 100 pages in exactly. I remember that because it ended on such a perfect number, so I'm a little bit over a third way through it. It is definitely going quick. Like, it is pretty fast paced, I would say, and it is about James. She is our main character, who is the twin sister of Johnny. Johnny has just passed away. And James and Johnny always kind of had this more like, I don't know how to explain it, but like a more special kind of connection than twins. Not in like a weird way, but like, you know, with twin telepathy and everything. But James and Johnny have felt it almost on like a spiritual level or like some sort of paranormal level, because James can basically feel the things that Johnny is feeling. So, for example, you find this out right away in the book, so it's not really a spoiler, but Johnny is killed by getting shot by a gun, and James knew that he was dead before anyone even told her because she felt it. She felt the pain. Like, she felt this pain in herself that felt like she was getting shot. And then sure enough, when she goes to like get her brother's belongings, there is a bullet hole in his shirt where he would have been shot, and it is the same place where James had that feeling in herself as well. But other than that, there hasn't really been any mention of like any other magical element, any other magical realism really, which is a little bit disappointing because that's usually what I love, and I love like the magical realism aspect of the unmaking of June Farrow. So I really wish it would be kicked up a notch with that part in this book, which I think hopefully we're getting there soon. But so far it has just been James traveling back to this small town. I think James and Johnny grew up there, or at least for a little while they did. And then James was working there. Or not James. James was in San Francisco, and then Johnny was working in the small town, and that is where he passed away. So James has traveled back to that small town and kind of like trying to wrap up loose ends for anything that Johnny had outstanding that needed to be taken care of. But she's also very skeptical of this death. Like, everyone says, oh, it's an accident, like, it's hunting season, this sort of thing happens, like, Johnny was out there taking photos because he's a photographer, so he got shot by a hunter accidentally, and the hunter doesn't want to get in trouble, so, like, they won't come forward. But James is like, I just don't think it was an accident. She thinks that he was murdered, so she's kind of trying to be, like, low-key and get some more evidence, get some more clues as to if he could have been murdered instead. So I definitely think that's interesting. Like, we've got that whole mystery aspect going on, but again, not like a ton of the magical realism aspect that I would like to see more of. I do think it would be really cool since James, or I keep on mixing up their names because James is like such a masculine name to me, but in this book, James is a female character. So Johnny is a photographer, so I was like, wait, what if, like, the magical realism part comes in with photos that he has taken, because James has been kind of, like, collecting them, because he still had some that were, I have no idea the photography terms for this, but, like, when you take a photo and then you have to put it in a dark room so it can develop, she's been, like, getting his photos that he was working on getting developed. So I'm like, that'd be cool if the photos had something to do with the magical realism. No idea yet. Other than, again, like, their whole twin bond thing. That's the only, like, kind of magical part there has been so far. But it's okay. Like, James actually being in the town for just a few days, like, that has really flown by. I do think overall the book is flowing well. It's just like, I need it to kick it up a notch. Which that could just totally be a personal preference. I do really like Adrienne Young's writing. It's very easy to understand, but you can tell it's like more sophisticated in a way. I don't really know how to explain it. Also, there is another mystery because James just like up and left town years and years ago for whatever reason, and I think like some of those things from the past are going to come back to haunt her now that she's back in the town, you know, discovering or trying to uncover things about her brother's death and just like reliving old memories and maybe memories as to why she left and got out of town as fast as she could. There's a few different mysteries going on, so that is pretty interesting. I'm probably gonna put this down for the day, so I will see you tomorrow. Alright guys, I am not going to talk very long because it is late, and also because I don't like to speak too negatively about books. Obviously, I'm going to give you like my honest review and thoughts, but I'm not going to like bash a book, and this book was not good. And it's really disappointing because I was so excited for this. I love the Unmaking of June Farrow, so I was just really excited for something like that from Adrienne Young again. And also, I don't know, but on Book of the Month, this is marketed as like another magical realism, like other books, the main genre that Adrienne Young does, and also a dual timeline. There's zero magical realism in this, like, so bad. And then also the dual timeline, there is one singular chapter out of like 30 chapters that takes place in a different year. So why is it being marketed as a magical realism dual timeline when that is just not the case whatsoever? And also, there is just no plot. This is probably the most boring book I have ever read. Like, why is the whole book just describing the scenery? Like, I don't care about the scenery. I would have way rather cared about the mystery. But when it comes to the actual mystery, I thought it was pretty predictable anyways. Like, other readers may be surprised by it a little bit, but I thought it was totally predictable. The romance in it, no chemistry whatsoever. Like, I could not care less about the romance in it. And there's no character development, just like no plot. It's not a good book. So again, like, I do not want to sit here and just like bash this book all night, because I try to spread positivity and joy on this channel and all my other social medias. So I feel like I should just leave it at, I would not recommend this unless you just like go into it. I don't even know. Like, I was gonna say go into it expecting a mystery, but even then, like, the mystery is just not good. It is not executed well, and the characters, you just feel no emotion toward them. You don't care about them whatsoever. I need to not like say so much bad stuff about this, but it's not very good, you guys. And I feel like I might just leave it at that. This is getting 1 star from me. I feel like that is the lowest I have rated a book in like 2 years. And this was one of my most highly anticipated reads of the year because it's Adrienne Young's newest book, and it just did not work out for me, unfortunately. I hope that if you do read this, you enjoy it more than I do. But I personally just like would not recommend it to anyone, unfortunately. But to each their own. If this is your favorite book, I love that for you. I wish it would have been a favorite book for me as well, but unfortunately, it cannot always be like that. So I'm very tired. I had to struggle through this book, and it almost put me to sleep several times. So yeah, I will probably see you guys tomorrow with another read, another new release, and hopefully it is better than this one. Hello, you guys. It is the next day after the last clip you saw me talking about A Sea of Unspoken Things, and since then I have started the favorites this morning, and this is already so good. Like, I can just tell it's going to be such an amazing book. I'm only 64 pages in, and I love it. I already loved it at like 20 pages. I literally texted my friend because I told her the whole debacle with the other book, and I was like, it was just not great, and I just like, I need something good. So I texted her this morning, and I was like, I'm only 20 pages into this book, and I already love it. So this is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This one came out, did it come out on the same day as A Sea of Unspoken Things? I don't know. Anyways, it came out like mid-January, so it's been a few weeks, I think, and I ordered it immediately on release day because I had heard really good things about the ARC reviews of it, and also people say it gives the same vibes as Daisy Jones and the Six, which it absolutely does. It's literally in like the same type of format. I'll try and show you here real quick, but kind of like interview style, or like script style. So in the book, basically, they're filming this documentary. I'll get more into that in a second. So between some of the chapters, it's like showing the dialogue in kind of like interview format or script format. So here on this page, you can kind of see what that looks like. It just lists the person's name and then what they said. And it has been so good. It literally feels like I am watching this documentary in my head right now. It is, I just can't say how good it is. So let me tell you a little bit about what it's about now. So we have Katarina Shaw and then Heath. I don't remember Heath's last name right now, but anyways, we have Kat and Heath, and they are kind of like childhood friends, and they became figure skating partners at a very young age, and they continue to stay friends throughout that, and now right now we are in their teenage years as they are competing and training to be like better competitive figure skaters. And it is just so interesting so far. We read in Kat's POV, and it is her recounting like how she grew up, kind of how she got to where she is, how her and Heath became such good skating partners, these competitions they're in, this training that they're doing. So like it sounds kind of mundane, but the way that it is written, it literally feels like you can just watch it in your brain as you're reading it. It feels like I'm watching a TV show, like I'm binging it. And basically the whole book starts out with Kat saying like it is the 10-year anniversary of the last time Heath and I ever competed together, and everyone thinks that it's this scandal. They're making this documentary on it. Well, here's my side of the story, because Kat and Heath were skating partners for so long, for so many years, and then all of a sudden they had like this big falling out. We don't know what happened yet, and it seems like so crazy that it could even happen because they just seem like such great friends, and there is romance between them as well from like a young age, like 15 years old probably. So they're just like great partners on the ice and also just great partners romantically. So it's just really crazy to think about what could possibly happen for them to stop skating together, stop competing, stop talking to each other, and I'm really scared. It's a long book. It's like 450 pages, I think. Again, I'm like 60 some pages in, so I still have a long ways to go. But so far, I am absolutely loving it. I am eating it up. So far, I can tell you, if you love Daisy Jones and the Six, I feel like you would love this book. And I feel like it is going to break my heart because, again, like, I love Kat and Heath. I love them together in both the ways so much, like, already. For the author to already have me falling in love with the characters and this book so fast, that is incredible. That is incredible writing. I'm just so scared. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be devastated when I find out what happened between Kat and Heath for them to end their partnership after the Olympics. Like, what? It better have a happy ending, because if not, I'm not gonna be happy. And I want to tell you a little bit more about Kat and Heath, just like their individual characters a little bit as well, because I really like both of them individually as well as together. But Kat is they're both from Illinois. I don't know, I think it's like small town Illinois. And Kat grew up with basically just her dad and brother, because I think her mom died when she was pretty young, and then her father passed away when she was a teenager. So now her brother, who is 5 years older than her, is her legal guardian, but her brother is an alcoholic. He does not really take care of her, so it's not a great home life for her after her father has passed away, and she can barely even afford to figure skate. But thankfully her coach like finds her and Heath odd jobs that they can do to save up so they can keep like affording this coach, so they can keep ice skating together and doing these competitions together. And Kat is so hard working. At one of the first competitions we see in the book, I'm not going to give too much away, but something happens to her and she just perseveres through it. And it's like, she's 16 years old at the time, and I'm going to be 22 in like 5 days, and I can't imagine doing what she is doing at my age right now, let alone 16 years old. Like, she sets her mind to something and she goes for it. Like, she will not give up on it. And I think that is such a powerful character, especially at such a young age. So I love her, and she keeps on doing everything she can in her power to keep ice skating, like working these odd jobs, just doing whatever she can to pursue her dreams of becoming like a world famous figure skater. And then Heath has a very, very sad background to his character as well. I'm pretty sure he is the same age as Kat, so they're both 16. But I think it said he has been in the foster system since he was like 4 years old. He had been to several different foster homes. And then eventually Heath was going to have to move away. So he also does not have a very good upbringing. His foster parents don't really care about him. They just like foster kids for the money that they get from the government. So they're not taking good care of these kids. Heath like literally doesn't even go home to his foster house because one, there's no room for him, and two, like they wouldn't even notice that he was gone because they don't care. So Heath basically just like lives for the reason to figure skate with Kat, and I can already tell he's just like so sweet. Protects Kat from her brother because again, like her brother is an alcoholic, so Heath tries to protect Kat from him. And again, he's a 16-year-old boy having to do this, and he's been dealing with just like a bad upbringing his whole life. So very, very sad stories for both of the characters, and I just feel like they need each other. I don't know. I'm, again, already scared for what's gonna happen between them because I love them together so much. I guess we have a lot of book to still go, so maybe some actions that happen after some more years, after them being together for longer, will have me changing my mind on either of their characters. And also, I feel like I'm really liking that it's kind of an unreliable narrator because it's Kat's POV. Obviously, she might have some different things to say than if it was just like third person POV. But then it's also cool how you get like the interview style POV because then you get the perspectives of multiple different characters watching Kat and Heath's career. I am just loving that writing style of it as well. And I'm so excited to keep reading, so that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll probably pop in with another update at some point just because it is a longer book. So again, probably gonna be a lot of stuff going down. Also, this is so random. I know I've probably been talking for so long, I don't even want to see how long, but this book is making me want to ice skate again. I am from Minnesota, so I've been ice skating since I was like 4 years old. Basically, like when you can learn to ice skate, I was taught how to ice skate. And I actually did figure skating when I was like 9, and it was really fun. And I really enjoy ice skating, but I haven't been in quite a while, probably because I need new ice skates. That's probably the reason. And ice skates are expensive, people. I want to buy a new pair of ice skates and go ice skating after just reading 60 pages of this book. Like, does that not tell you just how immersive the writing is? Okay, I promise I will stop talking now and get back to reading. Alright guys, I am coming in with another update of the favorites. I am currently on page 150, so definitely getting a decent bit through it because I cannot put it down. The only time I put it down today is to do like chores and to film another YouTube video. Other than that, like, you cannot take this from my hands because it is so good. It is so captivating. It it's so funny because I'm getting so frustrated with Kat, and but like in a good way.
because I know that it is so well written that I feel like I am in the story. And I'm getting so frustrated. I'm getting so scared. I'm getting so nervous because I feel like I am in this book and I'm not like just reading about fictional characters. I genuinely feel like all the emotions that the characters are feeling, and you just know it is so well written. Again, so engaging. Like, it is so fast paced and it just flows so well that you do not want to put it down. Um, Again, I am stressed for the fate of one of the characters. I'm really scared. Like, I feel like I'm going to cry at the end of this. I don't even know what's coming, but like, I feel like I might know what is coming and I will not be okay. So, yeah, I just wanted to update you a little bit. We're still going through Kat and Heath, their figure skating partnership, their relationship, all these other competitions they're in, some new friends, new competition. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to give too much away, but just know that it is amazing so far, and I love Kat and Heath, but I'm scared because obviously something happens and they're not together. I'm so scared. I love Heath. He's a little baby. Not like, oh, a baby, but like he's my baby, you know? If that sounds weird, sorry. And Heath just loves Kat so much. Like, Kat is obsessed with the game. She is obsessed with pushing herself harder and harder to become a world champion in figure skating. And Heath will just do whatever he can to make her happy, even if figure skating isn't his dream, but it's Kat's dream. So he's willing to literally uproot his whole entire life for Kat when he's a teenager. And maybe that's toxic, but in my head, it's sweet. Maybe I am the problem here, but yeah, I love Heath. He's such a little cinnamon roll. So just thought I would give you that update quick. That it's really good, and I feel like I'm in the story, and I'm feeling all these emotions, and I'm nervous. I'll continue to keep you updated throughout the book. Well, we have another update, and I actually feel like sick. Like, I feel so jealous and betrayed right now. I am on chapter 34, page like 190. I am seething. I feel like I am literally living as Kat right now. And I am so furious. I'm so literally, I feel like I could cry out of anger, not out of sadness, but out of anger, out of jealousy, again, like betrayal. That is all I am feeling right now. We're not even halfway through the book, and I'm feeling this way. So I'm like, what the heck is all going to happen? I'm so scared that I'm already feeling this way. And once again, I would like to reiterate, this writing is amazing because I actually feel like I am living as Kat right now, and I am not just reading about fake characters. Like, I am in the story. I am the main character of the story. That is how I feel right now. That is how much like anger and jealousy and every emotion I am feeling so strongly because this author is so talented that I just feel like I am a part of the book. So I just needed to update you guys real quick on that because wow, I'm so scared. Guys, I am so obsessed with the favorites. I am now on page 269 and I am loving how it's going now. There was another like huge plot point that kind of shifted the whole book once again. Like, there was already a huge plot point earlier that shifted everything. Now everything's being shifted again, and it's just like never stops. There is always something happening. I continue to not be able to put it down. I had to have it up with me like the whole time making supper, the whole time eating supper. So sorry to my husband for ignoring you while I was reading this book, but like I cannot get enough of it. And now another huge thing just happened that has me like giggling and all giddy, and I'm so happy right now. But then I come to the realization that, like, everything must go terribly wrong because, again, this is Kat's story about what led up to the events of her and Heath having this falling out and quit being figure skating partners together. And it hurts me so bad right now. And I'm not even, like, in the bad part. I'm in the good part. But just knowing what must be coming is killing me. But I am loving this book so much already. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself after I finish it because I feel like this will be the only thing I can think of. And I feel like I'm going to have another book hangover, even though I just had a book hangover after finishing Onyx Storm. And this is, like, the first book that I have actually been super into since finishing Onyx Storm. Literally, oh, this one. Right here. Onyx Storm is right here. And now I'm going to be in another book hangover because of this book, because I love it so much and I don't want it to end, but, like, it better have a good ending. There better be a good ending here. But I'm really scared. I'm really nervous. But again, I'm feeling, like, all the emotions that Kat is feeling. I've been, like, laughing and clapping, like, literally jumping for joy. I have been jumping for joy over a book, over fictional characters, over a fictional plot. Again, I really want to go ice skating. I told my husband when he got home from work, I was like, I need new ice skates so I can go ice skating. Because after reading this, and also, I don't even have kids yet, but I want to put my kids in figure skating. You guys, this book is, like, altering my brain chemistry. So yeah, that's my little update for the night. I will probably see you tomorrow reading some more, and probably finishing this book because I literally can't put it down. Like, literally was cooking supper and holding this book. I may have an issue, but you know what? It's better than other issues to have. So would definitely recommend the favorites so far. Hopefully the ending does not rip my heart out and, like, stomp on it. Hopefully it rips my heart out, but then puts it back together. You know? We shall see, though. Okay, you guys just watched me finish the favorites, and I had to take a moment. I went and got ready so I could just, like, sit with my thoughts, even though I feel like I don't even need to stew on my thoughts because I already know how strongly I feel about this book. It was incredible. I read it in under 24 hours. I would absolutely give this book 6 stars if I could, and let me tell you a little bit about my ending thoughts. I think I had about a third of the book left to finish today. I started on, like, page 270 something, and there's 430 some pages, so I was able to finish it in just a few hours this morning, and it is so addicting. I could not put this book down. It had my attention every single page. I was also crying earlier, as you guys probably saw in a clip from this morning, because I just felt, like, overwhelmed with sadness and with betrayal once again. And this time it wasn't like I was seething, but I actually felt hurt. I felt gutted, like Kat did in the moment. There was some character development for the worse, and then throughout the book it did get better again. And there's just, like, so many up and downs throughout this whole book. The emotions that this book can evoke in you, like,
I felt every single emotion. Once again, I felt like I was living in the book as the main character, Kat, as she is training for the Olympics and all these relationships and all the tension. Like, I felt every single emotion so strongly. The drama. The drama. This literally felt like I was watching a dramatic documentary unfold in the same way that I felt when I read Daisy Jones and the Six. Like, you just feel like you are there, living in the moment, seeing the drama through your own eyes. Drama, again, all throughout the book, and so many different things, so many different factors that go into this drama, whether it's with Kat and with Heath, or with them and their competitors. Like, everyone, there is drama around these ice skaters at all times. And it's like, I feel like in the real world, when we talk about like the ice skating teams, it's like people are like, oh, they're such a close knit family, but it's like, okay, but are they keeping their friends close but their enemies closer kind of way? Because from this book, that is definitely the vibes. Oh my gosh, I also just have to say, like, The Last Time by Taylor Swift stuck in my head now. Red is one of my favorite Taylor Swift albums. I was 10 years old when it came out, and I was obsessed with The Last Time. Or maybe I was 9 years old. I don't know. Either way, like a 9 or 10-year-old obsessed with The Last Time. Why? I don't know. But that song has such significance in this book at the end, and it just made me so emotional. First of all, because I love Taylor Swift, I love the Red album, I love The Last Time, and then I also love these characters so much, like Kat and Heath and their relationship, their partnership as these ice skaters. Like, I love them so much. So to have like two things I love, Taylor Swift and this book, and the characters in this book collide, like, it was incredible. And the tension between, again, several characters is so good. Once again, you just feel like you are the character in the book. Oh my gosh, the parallels, don't even get me started on the parallels that kind of unfold and you see through your own eyes with the book. Like, I'm obviously not going to give too much away, but something happens with Kat, and then later something happens with Heath, and then again, something that is brought up like over probably like 15 years after the first time it occurs, and the parallels are just insane, you guys. Like, it is so well written. The overall love and the sport, I mentioned earlier that I used to ice skate a lot. I did figure skating, and I literally want to become a figure skater now. When I have kids, I want them to be figure skaters. So like, I love the sport. I want to literally go to the Olympics in Italy next year. We shall see. Olympics, if you're watching this, I am your biggest ice skating fan. Please invite me. And overall, just the found family in this book is really beautiful, and I was not expecting to go into it. I don't really know what I was expecting from this book. I was expecting drama because I had went into it knowing that it was kind of like Daisy Jones and the Six, and that is dramatic, but that's also like a love story, and this is as well, but I thought it was going to end in such tragedy because from the way the synopsis is, it's like, okay, Kat and Heath have been partners for years, they're going to the Olympics, but then something happens and they don't speak to each other again. So you're like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen? Like, going in, you know that it's not going to end well, and I guess that's kind of the same with Daisy Jones and the Six, because you know something happens with the band that ultimately leads to them breaking up. But I don't know, this one just felt a little bit differently going into it, and I'm not really sure the reason, but I love it. So I definitely was not expecting like the found family, especially throughout the book and the way that it ends. You would not expect it to end that way just based on all the other drama with these characters throughout the book. I seriously loved it. I cried. As you could see in the clip of me finishing it, I was a little surprised by some things because there's kind of a mystery going on as well. They need to make this into a show like they did with Daisy Jones and the Six, and they need to keep this, like the show, original to the book, unlike Daisy Jones and the Six. I won't get into that. I feel like this would be another like great audiobook because again, you have the interview style as well as just like the normal narration style. Oh my gosh. I literally want to like go back and reread it and see if I can pick up on a few things, maybe annotate it, because this book has my heart. Dare I say this will be one of my top reads of the year. And the year is just starting. So it's amazing, incredible, definitely one of my favorite reads of all time. I'm so glad we picked it up for today's video of reading new book releases. I don't know how anything else is going to top this. Oh my gosh, one more thing I want to bring up, the toxicity. Like, right here on the cover, it says to the world they were a scandal and to each other an obsession. And that is so true, because the way the world saw everything about Kat and Heath, they were a scandal. Their whole partnership, their falling out, everything was a scandal. It was all like in tabloids, all speculated. Obviously, Kat and Heath are the only ones who know what actually went down within their relationship, and it's Kat narrating it. So we get to like see it actually unfold through her eyes, and this is so true. To each other, they were an obsession. Like, they were obsessed with the sport, and Kat was obsessed with getting the gold, winning. Like, she would do anything to win. And Heath, starting out, he is kind of like, I would do anything for Kat. Like, Kat is what I care about most, but Kat is like, what I care about most is winning. But then in the end, it kind of morphs into their own thing, their own obsession of a sort. And yes, it is very, very toxic at times, but it's also beautiful and incredible. Okay, I should probably stop talking about this book because I think I could talk about it all day, and we don't need this video to be 5 hours long. So let's just put this one down for now, but definitely read it, you guys. Again, this one just came out a few weeks ago. As this is uploading, I think it'll have been out for like 3 weeks to a month. If you have not read it yet, please go and get it immediately and read it. You will not regret it. Again, I don't know how anything is really going to live up to that book for this video, but I did have one more book planned to read in this video, and it is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I have only read one other B.K. Borison book, and it was Love Light Farms that I read in December, if you saw me read that, and I did not like it, but I'm hoping this one is better. From the ARC readers, I've heard very good things. This is an early copy that I got from the publisher, and I think it's supposed to be like a Sleepless in Seattle inspired book, and I've never seen Sleepless in Seattle, so I asked my mom if she'd seen it, and she's like, yeah, it's okay. And my grandpa was there when I asked her, and he was like, oh, I love that movie. So we will see if I also enjoy Sleepless in Seattle like my grandpa, or if I don't, like my mom. And I think in this one, it's about a radio show host, this guy right here, and he's like a grump. He doesn't really believe in true love and all that. And then the female main character is a single mother, I think, who is a hopeless romantic, and he has her on the radio show. I don't know. I, again, have heard really good things about it so far, but I'm kind of in a book hangover after The Favorite, so we'll see how this goes. But obviously, I'm still, like, gonna do my best to read it, to enjoy it, and obviously let you guys know my thoughts. Hi guys, it has been a few days. I don't think I've talked to you since Friday when I finished The Favorites, and it's now Monday for me. So in that time, I have started First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I'm about 300 pages in, and this is like a 420 page romance novel. I always think romance books over like 350 pages are a little drawn out sometimes, but so far this one's been really good, and I don't really mind that it's a little bit longer and things are kind of more slow burn. I'm gonna try and keep this little reading update shorter because I'm stuffed up, so I'm very like short of breath trying to talk right now. But this one is about Aiden Valentine, who is this radio show host of Heartstrings in Baltimore, and it's like a dating segment on this radio show. And Aaron is kind of, or Aaron, where did I get Aaron from? Aiden Spice is kind of a grump. But then one night, this 12-year-old girl, Maya, who is actually our female main character, Lucy's daughter, calls Aiden and she's like, my mom needs dating help because she has been alone like my whole life. Again, her daughter is 12 years old and she needs to find someone. She needs happiness. She needs to not be so lonely. And right away, Lucy is immediately like embarrassed and humiliated by this because she's like, oh my god, my 12-year-old daughter is calling this radio show and like airing out my dirty laundry to them. Sorry, I didn't realize the bookmark was like covering the cover. But anyways, then Lucy talks to Aiden for a little bit on the dating show. She's like, I want something magical. I am like a hopeless romantic. I just have not met my person because I don't feel that magical connection with anyone I've dated. And then this clip was recorded of them talking on this radio show and it goes viral. Like millions and millions of people have heard this call, they've heard Lucy, they fall in love with Lucy. So then the manager of the radio show invites Lucy to like be on Heartstrings with Aiden to help her find love. So now Aiden and Lucy are working together on this radio show and they definitely start forming a friendship. It's really cute, honestly. They start realizing they might have kind of like a crush on each other, but ultimately the whole purpose of Lucy being on this dating segment of the show is to find someone to date. So Aiden's like, okay, she can't date me, and Lucy's like, okay, I can't date Aiden because that's not the point of her being on the show. So I really, really like the overall just premise and plot of this book. I think it was very unique. I mean, it is supposedly Sleepless in Seattle inspired, but I've never seen Sleepless in Seattle, so I have no idea what that's about. And I'm definitely loving this book a lot better than Love Light Farms by the same author. Her writing has definitely improved for sure. It doesn't feel as clunky and like throwing in just unnecessary amount of words. Like Love Light Farms to me feels like when you are trying to meet a word count on an essay, so you just keep reiterating the same exact sentence in different ways, and it's like, I could not with that. Also, the romance between them is just so much better. Like, he's the grump, she's the sunshine, she wants love, he doesn't really believe in love, he has kind of a depressing past with his family. She also has kind of a depressing past with her family, but she's a single mother, but she has really great co-parents. So I'm really loving both of them individually as well as together. It's so refreshing, like their story and their relationship is so refreshing, and they both deserve it. So I'm gonna try and get this finished today. Like I said, I have a little bit over 100 pages left since I'm around 300 pages. So I'm hoping to finish it today, and I will give you my final thoughts then. I just finished First Time Caller, and this was so sweet. I told you a little bit about it earlier. I want to tell you a little bit more about Aiden and Lucy. Aiden is the grump. He is very kind of closed off from love because his mom has had cancer several times, and he's always been like, obviously very upset about that, but he now closes himself off from love interests because he doesn't want to give himself the opportunity to love something and then potentially lose it. So my heart just goes out to Aiden because that is so sad. And then Lucy, she is kind of closed off from love because she tries to just focus on being the best possible mom that she can for her 12-year-old daughter, Maya. And as someone who grew up with a single mom, I feel like I saw a lot of my own mom in Lucy. Obviously, just always wanting the best for your kids and always putting your kids first above anything else. But Lucy deserves love, Aiden deserves love, and they are honestly just perfect together. Their banter and like their quirky flirtiness is everything. And Aiden is so sweet. Even though he comes off as this total grump, he definitely has a soft side, and that soft side is for Lucy because he's just a perfect angel to her. And then with Lucy, she's the single mom, but Aiden brings out like the fun side of her, and she's like, I want to do fun things with you. I loved watching their friendship grow. I loved watching their relationship grow. It just felt so natural, honestly. There was no really like miscommunication, third act breakup. I hate the miscommunication tropes in adult romances because I'm like, okay, you guys are adults. Why are you acting like teenagers? And they're like 30 years old in this book. So I'm very glad there was no miscommunication, really. It was more so just like them having to work out these things just within themselves, not like in the relationship. Like Aiden had to kind of work through and figure out why he was so closed off. And then Lucy was just like, she kind of knew what she wanted, but she didn't want to push anything. And it's just so funny. Like the whole time, Aiden is supposed to be working as this radio show host, helping Lucy find people to date in the city that they live in. I definitely really enjoyed this one. I ended up giving it a 4-star rating. Might bump it up to like a 4.5-star rating. I do think it was still a little bit lengthy. Like I feel like some stuff was a little bit of fluff thrown in there. But overall, I don't think it was like too long. So when this book comes out, or maybe it already is out, I don't know what the release date is for this one. I just know it's sometime in February. Definitely pick this up and get your hands on it. And let's just do a recap of the other 2 books I read in this video. We started off with A Sea of Unspoken Things. This one I was probably the most excited to read, and I would not recommend it. I don't want to waste any more time talking about it. 1 star. And then my absolute favorite read of this video is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This is going to be one of my top reads of 2025, and it's only February 3rd as I'm filming this, and I think I finished it like January 30th or 31st, and I knew it was going to be one of my top reads because it is just that good. I would give this infinite stars. Like Katerina and Heath have my heart, their whole relationship, their whole career. Like I have literally been laying awake in bed every night since I finished this just thinking about them and their story. So they just never leave my mind, basically. And if that doesn't tell you it's a good book, I don't know what does. Definitely pick this one up. I think it came out a few weeks ago now. And that is going to be the end of this new book release reading vlog. If you liked this, definitely comment down below. I can definitely do more like new release vlogs in the future because I thought it was really fun. Kind of made me go out of my way to buy these books and read them right away instead of just waiting and waiting, not getting to them right away. But I think it's definitely fun to read them as they're brand new. Now I am able to give you guys some more good book recs for books that just came out. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. It would mean so much to me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!